And here we go once again with the early week version of the Variety Hour podcast. I'm Sergio Paradise, and I've just got to say before I introduce my co-host here, just how excited we are that it's, and I'm sure you are too, that everyone who's listening at the moment, that it's only 23 sleeps till the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, so exciting.
Oh, it is exciting. As I say, I'm Sergio Paradise, and joining me, as always, he's just back from his monthly appointment with the Trinity College Barbershop. It is Titus O'Reilly.
I think you might need to explain that one to the people that aren't in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So Trinity is a very expensive private school.
Yeah, it's not one of your top 10 or 12.
And you as Minister for Private Schools of this podcast.
Schools, I will point this out that it's probably B-listed as far as your private schools.
Oh, really?
But it is a very old and traditional and successful private school in the suburb of Kew, which is your traditional home of your private school. And Trinity, just last week, they sacked a long-term teacher, his vice principal, a bloke by the name of Rowan Brown, for cutting the hair of a pupil just before they were taking their school photos. Now you can understand that a teacher, you shouldn't be physically cutting the hair of a student against their will. But apparently that all got sorted out, but the school sacked him immediately anyway.
Well, because even the kid that he did the haircut with didn't want him to be sacked. Really care, and now they're all saying they want the principal to be sacked.
Well, all the kids are now, just as we speak, are on strike. They've all come in casual gear today.
Oh no! Those private school kids know how to terrorise a place.
And they're all out on the main oval.
They're all out in their country road,
just sitting around there with their country road and their blue chambray shirts. A few of them have got Barnaby
Never
Joyce
have you seen so
on.
many 14-year-olds in chinos.
And even the Old Boys Association, the old Trinity grammarians.
Yeah,
they've got, and this is the bit that appealed to me. They've got every school captain for the last 32 years has signed this petition wanting Brownie back and to get rid of the.
This is such a Melbourne story. It is ridiculous, and it's been almost front page news down here for a week. It's
right
ridiculous.
Across. It was the leading story right across the whole long weekend.
You know where?
Whereas in Sydney, this would have been buried.
Oh, I don't know. There are a few
in
schools in Sydney that would maybe get this level of coverage.
Yeah, they would get a bit of coverage in the Sydney private schools, but they would bury it really quickly.
Have you ever cut someone's hair against their will? Because I imagine that's quite hard to actually do.
I imagine it would be. You'd have to hold them down and get someone else to
shearing.
Pass you the scissors.
I mean, shearing really is giving a haircut against someone's will.
Maybe that's where Brownie will end up.
We should also add that this is a sports podcast.
Yeah. But
So first we'd like to start off by thanking, as always, our supporters who really do make this happen. We really couldn't do this. If we didn't have them, we would go back and probably have to get real jobs. So if you're not a supporter already...
Job going at Trinity.
You do I'd love to see you a principal of a school.
Vice principal.
Oh, amazing.
Look, even when I go back to my old school now, which I've done for the occasional old boy function,
yeah,
I still feel nervous.
Oh, really?
I still feel nervous I'm going to get sprung or for something I've done.
Really?
Even when I met the new principal.
Well, you did a lot of bad stuff.
In the new principal. I still expect...
You're probably older by about 30 years than the new principal.
I'm older than the new principal.
See, I wasn't nervous enough at school. That was my problem.
Yeah.
And I was getting back to thanking our supporters, Serge, which you interrupted to reminisce about your school days. You're in a sort of a looking back mood, rose-coloured
I think it's because I'm wearing a polo shirt.
You are wearing a polo today. It's just nice you're wearing a top of some sort. So thank you to our supporters. If you haven't become a supporter yet and you want us to stay on the air and support some independent views on... or stupid views, really. That's code for stupid views on the sport world. Become a supporter at TitusandSergio.com. I should also add I'm doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival, which is a couple of weeks away. I've even written the show, Serge. And
you have written it?
Yeah. And it's either a cracker or awful. I can't tell you.
Well, you'll find out
on the night.
On opening night, I gather.
So tickets are actually selling really well. I think that first night's getting close to sold out. So if you want to see the train wreck first one... Or it could be the best one. See, a lot of stand-up say, I do a few runs to get good and then I do the big shows and properly and all that. See, me, there's no guarantee I'll get better.
Yeah.
In fact, there's
Although
the reverse
I would
possible
advise anyone considering buying a ticket, wait for at least night 3 or 4.
All right.
Like just to, pull things
See if
together.
I warm up?
Yeah.
No, the first one's more...
First one will be a cracker.
Actually, first ones are often the best, what I find. They're all pretty awful. Andrew Byrne wrote in, I just bought Comedy Festival tickets to your show. Is this what buyer's remorse feels like?
He hasn't even seen it yet. Actually, buyer's remorse, that's a good name for a show.
Actually,
if I do a show next year, that's what I might call it.
I'd love to see you do your own solo show.
Yeah, but
just you in an armchair, just giving Serge's view on the world.
I can reckon.
Do you reckon you can pull together one? Yeah.
Maybe not by next week, but next year I might do it.
Next year, there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll put the tickets in the show notes once again, but come on down. Love to see people there. It's getting very close. We should just update the test finished last night. Australia went down like a sack of suds.
I didn't even see the final score.
Oh, I looked at it. I was watching. Let me bring up that. So for the sake of accuracy, let me find the actual one. But it was like a 6-wicket loss.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
They only needed how much to win in that 4th innings? South Africa? Because we collapsed again. The Marsh brothers failed again. And
it's funny when you look at all the... I'm trying to just find the score, and you have to go through about... There's no mention in the Australian media of the actual loss. It's all about the sledging.
Yeah. 101 is what all they needed to win.
You wouldn't know that there was a test on. Anyway, it was a pretty terrible test all up, really. You kind of expected we were going to come back. It's a 6-wicket victory to the South Africans.
So
one series now.
How many more tests?
It's 4.
So there's 4 all
There's
up.
4 all
okay.
up. Yeah, not another 4. There's 4 all
right.
up. So next week is in... where is it? 4th test in Joburg, and next week's in Cape Town. Exciting. Okay. They might get a crowd at one of them.
I doubt it very much.
Really, Mitch Marsh has been almost our best player, and that tells you something. Steve Smith seems human.
Yeah, he's been struggling a bit.
He's really been struggling.
Dave Warner's, if you forget all the controversy and what have you, he's still making a few runs.
Yeah, he's been really up and down, Warner.
Kawaja's got to go.
Well, he made 75.
Yeah, but
so he was the one. Yeah. Well, he can't play spin. Yeah. Which is kind of a problem.
It is.
Considering it's part of cricket.
At test level, I reckon it is a bit of a problem.
The big story out of the cricket, though, was the Sonny Bill Williams masks.
Yeah, I saw something about this on Twitter before it became a real story, and I just thought it was somebody taking the piss.
Well, it was at first. It was just like some guys, and it would have been
nobody's
guys
going to do this.
Decided, let's get some Sonny Bill Williams in response to the fight that David Warner has and the things said about his wife and her history with Sonny Bill Williams.
Yeah.
So it's bringing that all back up into the into the media again. But what was where it crossed over?
No, go on.
Where it crossed over to being sort of more amazing is a couple of South Australia cricket South Africa officials came out and decided that it would be good. Former Test star Clive Eckstein and communications manager Altaf Kazi, they were pictured along with the mask-wearing fans, all smiling. This is great.
This is pretty funny, isn't it?
Which is so dumb.
Oh, it is dumb.
I mean, this is the thing, like, all these things, when people do something stupid in sport, almost never do you go, oh, yeah, I could see how I could have been in that situation.
I should have fallen for that one, yeah.
So they've been told off. Cricket Australia went nuts about it. They spoke to the official, to some other officials to express their disappointment.
Yeah.
There was a sincere apology from Cricket South Africa.
Right. As opposed to the if anyone was offended by me wearing a Sonny Bill Williams mask.
Eckstein and Kazi were scolded. It says, from their involvement in the charade.
Is that an official term?
Yeah, I like that. We scolded them.
Yeah.
Did they whack them with the wooden spoon too? It doesn't.
Naughty corner. for you, X-Team.
They've said that they've taken immediate precautionary steps against the officials. I don't know what that means. I guess stood them down or something.
Yeah.
And there would be an internal disciplinary process. Should someone lose their job for that? I think they should if they're South African.
Yeah, oh, exactly. I mean, especially
for cricket,
jobs are hard to find over there at the best of times.
If it was an Australian, we'd of course forgive them.
Yeah.
So that's all. David Berkelman wrote in, would there be any point for anyone wearing a Titus O'Reilly or Serge Para mask in front of anyone? Gee, thanks very much, David.
Maybe not in reference to any particular toilet incident.
Tawdry act in
the toilet.
It just shows you the mental processes that some people have that go, oh, this will be a good idea.
Yeah. But not only, this will be a good and idea, but it'll be funny. This will get us a few laughs. But then to go, now we're going to have to actually make them. So they've obviously gone on, found a good face shot of Sonny Bill Williams. They've blown it up to a certain size. They've printed them off on good quality paper. They've sat around with the scissors, cut them all out, put a little hole in each ear, attach the rubber bands to it. It's a lot of trouble to go.
And it's guys crafting. That's what it is. Like, they wouldn't do this for anything. It just shows you, and being a bloke, I know this, we will spend an enormous amount of energy on something that is pointless.
Yes.
But you try and get a bloke to do something that needs to be done, and it's like...
replace a washer in a
it's like,
shower.
I can't be bothered.
Get a man in.
Matt Anderson wrote in, was the Warner scandal an elaborate ploy by Cricket Australia to remind us that the cricket season is actually still going?
That's a fair question.
It's been successful.
Well, let's be honest. Without this scandal with Warner, we wouldn't have even known this second test was on.
No. Instead, it's poised on a knife edge, Serge.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Josh Green Essendon's Josh Green's been done for staging. Did you see this incident?
I did see this incident.
He was elbowed in the chest by Geelong's Mitch Duncan on Sunday in the JLT series in Colac.
Yeah.
And it was. What did you think of the incident? Did you think he staged?
Oh, of course he is, but let's be honest. A thrust in the chest in Colac is different to anywhere else.
Right, that's more meaningful.
That's more of a, what are you looking at kind of thing.
It's just saying hello.
Yeah. But
hello to our listeners in Colac. Do you like Colac? Is it somewhere you like to go?
I don't know if I've ever been to Colac.
I've been to Colac.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't even know where
God's
Colac
country
is.
Down there.
Right. God's country.
Hello to our listeners in Colac, both of you. And so he's been elbowed. It would be fair to say he went down clutching his face like he'd been shot.
He missed. It was a blatant stage. You know the big hero out of this? Michael Christian.
Yeah, because Michael Christian is the new, what do we call it, the tribunal czar?
He is the tribunal.
He is the tribunal.
He is the match review panel.
Yeah, all in one.
Yeah.
He's like a holy trinity.
He's
the match review panel, Michael Christian.
He's the super panel of penalties.
And the tribunal is all in one person.
Yeah.
There is something above him, though, that you can appeal to.
He should be on a big throne with a big gong behind him.
It's like an episode of Red Faces. That's your answer to everything.
Let's gong him off.
That's how you suggested to fix the footy show. Did you watch the footy show?
Did watch the footy show. Disappointing, one would suggest.
I didn't watch. I watched some clips online afterwards. It seemed to me, from what I saw, it's just the same. Like it did. Like I thought it was going to be a huge.
Certainly, I was expecting after all the hype that there would be changes or new bits or something. There wasn't much.
No, they did the rap bit, which everyone loved.
The rap battle at the end. Fair dinkum, you know.
You know what? Someone had said, we're thinking of getting Croft and Billy Brown to do a rap bat. No, that's what you say, Stu. No, we're not doing that.
No.
But they went, not only were we doing it, we're going to get like boxing, robes, and we're going to like write script. And
the fact that bit got on the air sums up everything that's wrong with the footy show.
I thought it was just more like, I was expecting it to be this. I know they had Favola, Judd, and Swan, right, on the panel, but it didn't feel. It could have been last year, and you wouldn't have noticed a single difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And I reckon if Hutchie was still hosting, it would be cancelled this week.
They'd be calling for its head.
Only because Eddie's there. Will Channel 9 probably persist.
Well, put it this way: it got outrated by Gogglebox.
Yeah.
which is not a great
And
start.
the front bar wasn't even on.
No, exactly. Well, next week, ideally, it could get outrated by the Goggle Box, with people on Goggle Box watching the footy show from the week before. That's what I'd
Going,
like to
what's
see.
this?
Yeah, what's this crap?
So anyway, Green got fined for.
Yeah, well, how much did he get fined? Because
It's he got 100. It's 1,500 fine, but down to 1,000 if you plead guilty. So he said he had. Christensen said he had little hesitation in deciding to find Green after he saw the replay of it. It was just something that was terrible. And he said he's going to stamp out staging.
I reckon he has already.
Already? There hasn't been another game played since then, I don't think.
I don't reckon there will be.
You think players just get it and go?
I think players will just go,
that's done.
saw what happened to Greenie. Yeah, I'm not going to try that one.
Yeah.
Now, if they could just stop Selwood from ducking, we've got the whole trifecta done.
Oh, God, imagine if you fined him every time he ducked.
Oh.
He wouldn't. The AFL would be the richest sporting organisation in the world. Speaking of Geelong, on the game against Essendon, which they actually lost, in the first quarter, as I was watching this, Dangerfield went down. He's got a hammy.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't come into this game until just after half time, and they kept talking about Dangerfield being injured without actually saying. I don't think they quite knew what was.
Well, they're talking about it like it's a crisis, and there's all the headlines make
All I
it.
could
You think
think
Geelong are out of the season?
All I could think of was, Danger's a champion, and you don't want to see good players go down. But I won't be unhappy if he misses round one.
Well, being a Melbourne supporter.
Exactly. And it looks
Do
like
you know
that's
what
the
the was
case.
is? Ablett's more likely for round one, but could not play. So Melbourne could realistically play Geelong without Dangerfield or Ablett, right? That terrifies me.
That means Geelong will probably win.
Yeah, because everyone will go,
Melbourne have
a chance
You've
to say
got
this
to win this one. You reckon you're any good, you have to win this game.
Yeah, you never. If you can't beat Geelong without Ablett and Dangerfield, what's your chance?
Yeah.
But then I think Viney's is going to be out.
Viney's not going to play. And I reckon Tom McDonald as well.
Right. So anyway, that could be interesting. Dangerfield said he's never done a hammy before, so
See, that surprised me.
He's getting old.
Yeah. But most footballers at some stage have done a hammy.
Well,
this could be the end of Dangerfield.
It could. The Crows are the winners here.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting because, it's sort of a third of their team's out now.
Well, exactly.
Well, 2/3 if Ablett's out too.
Yeah.
Jules has written in, will Bruce McAvaney recover from Danger's injury in time for the season?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It's going to be hard for a Bruce.
Being a Sunday afternoon game, maybe Bruce won't be calling that one anyhow, but he won't be happy about it.
Oh, I'd be devastated with Rioli being injured for so long too. It's a tough time. One thing that we all knew was going to happen, and good on him, Jack Watts had his highlight for the year when he kicked 6 goals on the weekend.
Gee, he was good too, I've got to say. He played very, very well for Port.
Yeah.
Oh, young Jack. And already,
This is like seeing an ex, you dumping an ex, and then they suddenly get like an international modelling contract or something.
Yeah.
Like they suddenly get front cover of Sports Illustrated or something. Like it's just brutal reaction.
Yeah, or you've dumped your girlfriend and you see a picture in the paper with, Patrick Dangerfield or Buddy Franklin.
That's your nightmare.
The new boyfriend is actually,
on Instagram,
far better than you on every level.
But at the same time, I would add it was a pre-season game.
Yeah, true. But he did what was wanted. All that could be asked of him. And I've got to say, I did tip him for All-Australian 5 months ago. I think you could throw in the Coleman as well now.
Well, we got a question I got a lot of questions where people just saying to you and I, had we seen Jack Watts on the weekend? Mark Hayward wrote in wanting some betting advice. Should I be content with the $67 available for a sure thing, Jack Watts Coleman medal, or shoot for the slightly riskier $251 shot at Jack Watts for the Brownlow?
Oh, go all in,
You know what, Mark? I would put your house on all of that.
Yeah, all in. Look, Jack's a gambler, so he'd appreciate it.
It'll be interesting if he keeps up that form, but I remember once being, super excited that Shannon Burns kicked 6 goals in an intra-club match. Remember that? It was written
Shannon
up like
Burns,
it was a huge coup.
Oh.
One thing you spotted this week is there is a big footy adding to the big thing collection of things around Australia. In New South Wales has been unveiled, and it's 5 metres long. It weighs 800 kilograms. That's about my size.
I wonder what it's made of.
I think it's like fiberglass or something, and metal within it. It's a tribute to Ungary's most famous exports, Terry, Neil, Anthony and Chris Danaher.
Yep. The Danaher brothers.
So it says the home of the Danahers. So this town has 400 people. And it says a lot of them have been doing tough in recent times,
right.
Serge. So this is an attempt to get people to go and visit there to go and see the big footy. And I know you'll be heading up there.
I'll be heading to Hungary to see this. That is a big footy, 5 metres long. It would need a big pump, wouldn't it, to keep it going.
I love how Australia does big things.
Yeah. I'll tell you, have you ever been to the big prawn at Ballina?
No.
You can climb up inside it and stare out its eyes. And all you can do is
the joy in your voice as you said that, like it was like being with a kid telling you about Paw Patrol or something like.
No, you look out this giant prawn's eyes over this just hideous wasteland of nothing.
Right.
Of muck.
Sounds amazing.
And mangroves with a bit of a town in the distance.
So good, huh?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Maybe you could do your first stand-up gig in Hungary. There's only 400. It's 400 people. They probably get it. They probably all come.
Oh, if I ring Terry Danaher.
Could you do half an hour of Danaher only material?
Oh, you could. If you got the brothers in, you wouldn't have to say a word. You just pass the mic.
I don't think that's how stand-up works.
No, probably
passing
not.
the mic to other people. So anyway, go to Hungary and go and see the big footy and help the 400 souls of the town who've been doing it tough. Help them out. And anything else we want to see big something of?
I don't know. This is probably the first big sort of footy thing related sort of thing. I mean, I think there's a big cricket bat somewhere.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What about what about a big boonie? We had the little boonies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a big boonie.
There should be a big
I'd
boonie.
love to climb up Boonie and look out his eyes.
Through those bloodshot
those bloodshot eyes. Over Tasmania.
There should be a big boonie right next to the Rest Point Casino in Hobart.
How it's not already there.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the Herald Sun did a big thing on membership packs if they gave you away things with your membership packs that were like real things, which is exactly what we talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago. Scarily accurate. Scary that it's coincidence, isn't it? Because there was a listener that wrote in and we riffed off all the ones that Melbourne would get a ski pack, and all that sort of stuff.
Master.
And it's pretty much exactly that done for every team. I'm sure it's coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence of that. Journo must have been listening.
In the silliness that the Football Federation of Australia continues to put upon us, they're looking at, we've talked a lot on this podcast about how they're at war with their fans, basically. And who isn't at war with their fans? But it seems to be just an ongoing civil war that never stops.
The West Sydney Wanderers and all those guys, they're
always Melbourne Victory,
kicking them out and not
and they spots. Sometimes they're kicking them out. Sometimes the fans are refusing to go there and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of it seems to stem from they want to let off flares, Serge. That's all they want to do. They're just kids that care about marine safety, want to light a few flares on a Saturday night. Is there anything wrong with that? And the FFA have for long point said it's not okay. So what the FFA have come up with is they want to supply these groups of fans with legal pyrotechnics and safe smoke-emitting machines to reset their relationship with these groups.
What could possibly go wrong?
I'm all for giving, what's a legal pyrotechnic? Like sparklers?
Well, I would think a legal pyrotechnic is just a pyrotechnic in the hands of someone who is licensed to use them.
But also, what I've got this image of you pan to the soccer crowd, all these like young blokes who are jumping up and down, holding sparklers and popping those little plastic bottle things, those party poppers that you have. Because what else is legal?
I can't see those Wanderers fans just copping that one.
And then they're going to have a few smoke machines.
Yeah.
Now, they think that this is. He said that they still plan to ban the lighting of flares. Well, I think they already are. So I think they're just saying they're not going to chase that, but they would help get access to these safe pyrotechnics so they can be used in a responsible way.
I think this is the thing, that assumption that the fans will use them in a responsible
but
way.
This is like clean coal. Doesn't really exist. Like safe pyrotechnics doesn't really exist. Like inherent in a pyrotechnic is fire and an explosion. Like that's what a pyrotechnic is. Like even... You see, even when the professionals do it, that occasionally they catch fire and things go wrong. So,
and you just go on YouTube. If you want to see the greatest explosions of all time, it's always when a fireworks factory goes up in China.
Greg O'Rourke, then the A-League CEO, he's negotiating with authorities to allow the move. He says, safe smoke.
Safe smoke. So
do you think they're all just going to have those with special colours in it? It's so ridiculous.
I just want to see a bunch of 11-year-olds vaping with red and blue smoke.
And it's like, it's all right, Mum, I was just barracking for my team. I'm not a vapor normally. Right. So anyway, he said safe smoke is not the panacea.
Right.
But it will just be one part of the picture to enhance the match day colour. It's clear that we have to do some relationship building between the clubs, the fans and the FFA. I mean, that's the understatement of the year. We're looking to engage on that with any of these fan groups that wish to do so. Now, what's amazing about this is what I don't get right is, okay, so one thing I could see them do is they give them like a smoke machine that you can hire from a party hire place or anywhere, right? So that, and you let out the dry ice sort of thing, right? Now they can get quite hot, but but as long as it's not safer probably than a flare, right? So they give them with some colour. You can do coloured smoke with them. The best way to have a party, Serge, hire one of those and fill up your lounge room and turn off the lights and put on the music, and everyone will have a ball. It makes any party seem like it's got atmosphere, even if you're just home alone like me.
Yeah, you're Pink Floyd.
So they give them these. Yeah. These guys will just, they won't just like press it occasionally. They're just going to hold their thumb down on it. So the stadium will just fill with smoke. Yeah, you won't be able to see the game.
They'll have to open the roof just to let the smoke out.
But also, once there's smoke everywhere and there's smoke billowing out from these safe smoke machines, someone lets off a flare, like it disguises the flare. No one knows. No one knows who set off the flare. You can't even see the flare.
All I can do is offer the FFA every encouragement to do this, because it's just going to be fantastic.
And in Victoria, the police won't let you have a T-shirt gun, which is like the stupidest thing they've banned ever. You
can't fire T-shirts.
And they're going to let you have legal fireworks. Like if you can't have a T-shirt gun, what legal fireworks exist?
And
it's party poppers, and even they say don't put it near someone's eye, and one of those guys is going to put it in someone's eye, and it will be banned.
Yeah, he'll just hold it up to his mate's eyeball.
Yeah,
and think, "Geez, this is going to be funny."
This is going to be hilarious.
And it's like anything; it's always funny until someone loses an eye.
I hope they do it. I just never wanted anything more.
And you'll see them. They'll get the smoke machines will get bigger and bigger until they're wheeling them down Burke Street like a mortar.
Because all the clubs have to try and outdo each other with their smoke machines.
No, I think it's the best idea they've come up with for a long
You'll
while.
Smell like you've come in from a nightclub after you've been to... Where have you been? Just for the soccer? Just been vaping and letting...
the song.
I've been vaping and letting off smoke. Just ridiculous.
Who won the game? I couldn't see.
Couldn't see it.
I don't even know who was playing.
I thought it was an Ed Sheeran concert. Did you see Ed Sheeran?
Hot enough,
Did you see Ed Sheeran in a St Kilda top?
Yeah.
That's good. Michael Gudinski's work, Sheeran's promoter in Australia and also a mad St Kilda fan. So he got him, and I looked at it and went, "That's amazing picture," because he looks like.
Well, the red hair and the tats, it's sort of
if I didn't know who Ed Sheeran was, and I know who Ed Sheeran is because he's on everything.
Yeah.
You would think I could legitimately believe that was a St Kilda player because I can barely name a St Kilda player. Like you could put a photo of anyone in a St Kilda top and go, does this person play for St Kilda or not? And I'd go,
does he play?
Or is he just like a guy we got on the street?
Singer-songwriter.
Did you go to Ed Sheeran?
No,
he played 3 big concerts in Melbourne at Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, I think possibly we're the only 2 people in Melbourne who didn't go.
Apparently, 1 million people in Australia are going to see him.
That's a lot of tickets, a lot of dough.
Yeah.
And while he had the big
That's
stage,
almost like where our tour got to.
Yeah, exactly. And while I had the big stage with the good coloured lights,
yeah,
the beauty. And I heard Michael Guninsky say this once. He said the beauty of the Ed Sheeran show,
it's just him and a guitar.
It's just him and a guitar. There's no dancers. There's no band. There's no expensive hangers-on.
Yeah.
You know,
because you go see someone like Bruce Springsteen, he's got like the whole E Street band. It's a huge amount of people.
And then also on the weekend, Bruno Mars was on it at Rod Laver.
Right, did you go to that?
No, but I had friends who did go. But on the other side of the coin, there's Bruno, and he's got like 15 or 20 dancers with him.
Yeah, right.
As well as the live band, and he's got DJs. So young Ed Sheeran, 1 million tickets at what, average of $100 each? So
what would your stand-up involve dancers?
Oh, maybe not 15 or 20. But hopefully a giant smoke machine.
if the jokes don't work, I'm going to get one for my comedy festival. And if the jokes don't work, I'm just going to and then just disappear in the smoke.
Like Ed Sheeran's got all these guitar pedals. You just have a little button in front of the mic. Yeah, if something dies, out comes the pink smoke.
And I just don't come back out. Just go out the back and vape. Anyway, good luck, FFA. Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Now, to show you that you can't... We know in Victoria, as we just mentioned, you can't have T-shirt cannons.
No. Nothing is like that.
On the ground, because they're actually classified as firearms in Victoria. The Victoria Police, in their wisdom, have decided that because they don't like having fun. And a listener, Julian M., sent in this story, which is similar to this, which is in the Greek top flight in football. We had AEK Athens were playing on Sunday, and they were playing PAOK Salinka, and the match was abandoned after PAOK's president ran onto the pitch with a gun.
Right, what was he intending to do with that?
He tried to confront the referee, and he had a gun in his hip holster. Now, we all like to carry a gun in our hip holster when watching football.
You usually just had to carry a little Jim Beam in the hip holster.
That's right. It was the 89th minute, and his team had scored a goal, but it was ruled offside, meaning it was still 0-0. The players from the opposition, AEK, they ran off the pitch concerned for their safety and didn't return. They went, guy with a gun on the pitch, that's us done. The match was officially abandoned 2 hours later because of all of that. The president asked his team to leave the pitch after it and then went up to the bodyguard and was actually pulled back by his own bodyguards.
So what's going to happen to this bloke, the president? Like, is he going to be...
I think he's going to be promoted to the head of the league. So isn't that crazy?
Wouldn't you like to see Jeff Kennett run onto the field wielding a handgun?
Well, this is where we owe John Howard a great debt for getting rid of all guns, because I could have seen that happening.
Yeah.
He was in cadets, Jeff. He'd be quick to remind you. He knows his way around a gun.
He'd around a 303, a bolt action, one of those old bolt action wooden ones.
That's scary though, isn't it?
It is. I mean,
we need to arm all referees. It's the only thing we can do.
Because if you don't, only the bad presidents will have the guns.
Now, I think from reading up on the article, he didn't draw the gun from the hip holster. Right. So that's why.
So he wasn't waving it and pointing it at
No, but he definitely had it, and when he was confronted. But still, you see someone coming at you with a gun even in their holster. Exactly. You take them a bit more seriously than if they're, advancing with a smoke machine.
It's like in any movie, any lethal weapon movie. You've just got
always a good base for reality.
There's always that one shot of the baddie who just opens his jacket.
That's right.
So you can see the handle of the gun.
He's carried.
He's packing heat.
You know what? I watched Lethal Weapon, as it always traditionally is on whenever the cricket finishes earlier on Channel 9. And a couple of years ago it was on, and I hadn't seen it since. Yeah. Really,
when the first one.
The first one. It was just the first one, and I remember, seeing it years and years ago and thinking, oh, Lethal, I haven't seen this for years. I'm going to watch it. So I watched it. And because it was on commercial TV before the first ad break, Mel Gibson had shot like about 8 people. Yeah. And he doesn't even, there's not even an inquiry. No, he doesn't even, the amount of people they kill in that movie, the cops, is representative of what America is really like. It was kind of mind-blowing. Getting to our listeners' questions, Golby Thompson wrote in, as a rusted-on North Melbourne tragic, what is my best course of action for the upcoming season?
I'd move overseas perhaps until October.
Just give up on football?
Yeah, I'll just forget the whole day.
You know what? When you're watching at home, when you're watching North play on TV, have a smoke machine, just slowly fill the room. Don't open any windows or doors.
Oh, I tell you.
I tell you what, I feel for you, Golby. I think you've got to...
I think they're going to struggle this year, North.
Oh, just slightly. You've got to drink.
Yeah, drink heavily.
Any time that they think Magic Door off the full back is a good idea, you know that this is a club struggling. Yeah. I don't know what you're going to do, Golby. You drink and just remember that it should turn around.
It will turn around at some point. Maybe not this year, but yeah.
No, maybe like us, it will take 40 or 50 years, but it will get there. Stephen Maloney wrote, can Collingwood play every game in Moe this year? We always win, and as a supporter, I really feel like I fit in with the locals.
I like that question.
You know what I like about Collingwood supporters is, and I've noticed this over the years of doing this, is you can make any joke at Collingwood supporters, and because they get so many, they do not take it personally, and they in fact often will do a joke at their expense. Yeah. There are other groups of fans that don't cop it. They get really annoyed.
I've seen Collingwood supporters. I've seen a guy have a go at a Collingwood supporters who's missing a couple of teeth.
Right.
And instead of come out swinging, he's just pointed to another Collingwood supporter and said, he's got less teeth than I have. True.
So, good on you, Steve. That's good. Very good. Moe, Collingwood won. They were actually, not awful. So
they were up against it for most of the game, but they put it together that last quarter.
Yeah. Timothy Byrne wrote in, given his extensive knowledge of weight for age races and other things, can Serge Para help with the upcoming nuclear disarmament talks between the US and North Korea?
I'm always happy to help.
What's your thoughts of it, though? Can you give us a critical analysis of what's going on? So Trump's going to go meet Kim Jong-un in Pyongyang in May.
I have a distinct feeling that Trump is being played
like a fiddle,
like an absolute out of tune guitar here.
Yeah,
by our little rocket man mate. They do this. The North Koreans, his old man was a master of this.
Yeah,
and Kim Jong-un has taken it a step further by making the world think that he's about to attack them.
They're like the kid in class. Remember the kid in class who would say smart-ass comments or muck around, right? So the teacher was about to actually kick him out or do and then they would just know where the line was and they would just stop. Yeah. And then they'd have egged up others and others would then go over the line.
There's no question. There's no question. He's made the world think we're on the brink of nuclear war. He's going to attack America.
He's riled up Donald Trump, which is not hard.
He's going to bomb Japan. His missiles can reach Australia. The whole thing. And now he said, "Look, come and have a chat, and I'll abolish the whole thing."
Mm.
Now, Trump regards himself as a pretty good negotiator. But,
he sure does.
But what old Kim will have in his back pocket is, I'll do all this if you give me this.
Yeah.
And it's always the way.
And he always wants money and food and things like that. Money and
food.
And then the other thing they do all the time, the North Koreans, is they just, and this is something Trump would be unfamiliar with that people do, is they lie.
Yeah.
They tell people what they want to hear and then don't follow through with it. So Trump being innocent and trusting in that way, and usually a man of his word, he'll struggle in that. The real question is, will Trump still be president by May?
Well, that is true. That is true.
I mean, he's lasted longer than everyone thought, but...
Yeah, I don't know if he'll certainly, I don't think he'll make it through his entire first term.
Well, I think this Stormy Daniels thing could...
Yeah.
Did Stormy Daniels play for St Kilda?
No, that was Jason Daniels.
Right.
Known as Jack.
Oh, they're not the same person.
Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels actually could have been Ed Sheeran because he had the pasty white face and red hair.
Well, anyway, thanks, Serge, for providing that insight into the US North Korea.
Mark my words. It'll all somehow end in tears.
It's either a really positive step or the most terrifying thing that could ever happen.
Yeah. I would dearly love to be a fly on the wall in those talks, or at least have them broadcast live.
This being Melbourne's season, if we go to nuclear war before we win a premiership, which is probably the odds of nuclear war are higher, I'll be gutted.
We were hoping that would happen before Richmond could win it last year.
Yeah, but, Richmond beat the odds.
We were let down once again.
Moo wrote in, the AFL proudly states no rule changes this year, quickly followed by a proposed mid-season draft, massive changes to interpretation of holding the ball and awarding 50-metre penalties, as well as an all-super powerful panel. Right. My question is, do you have to clap them and say, well played, you evil bastards? It is true. They made out like we're just settling things down, and then they've gone... bang, 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 with a bunch of crazy ideas.
Moo, I don't know whether moo is male or female, but that is absolutely so true. No rule changes, and then they change.
Well, and then they say, but we're going to change the interpretation of the rule. I mean, what's the point of rules if you can just reinterpret them however you want? This all-powerful panel, that's just... super panel. That's just communism coming to the footy, which is they've always been edging. They've always been a socialist thing. They've always been
going down that socialist
path. But they're going down it all the way now.
It's going to be really interesting to see who makes up this panel, handpicked by Steve Hocking.
Oh, it's going to be, though.
It's going to be the usual suspects in the same heads.
No fans.
No.
I'd love to see you on it just for a dissenting voice to everything. Well, what do you want for lunch? I don't want that.
They pay pretty well at the AFL, so I'll probably just agree with whatever's thrust in.
Let's start the campaign to get you. Let's get you on the campaign to.
I'd happily go on the super panel. On Steve Hocking's super panel.
They should randomly pick one fan off all the people who've bought a membership. Yeah. They should just roll the dice and get some fan. Doesn't just random.
Couldn't hurt.
So Warren King wrote in, if your mate fills your Facebook feed with complaints about the umpiring and it's only the JLT series, how quickly should you unfriend that person? I'm sorry, Warren. It was just one day of complaining. People do take the JLT very seriously. Yeah. Not seriously enough to find out what JLT means. And
listen, with a name like Warren, you might be struggling for that many friends anyway.
Is JLT the worst sponsorship of all time just because it doesn't do what it's set out to do?
Well, see, I had this thought, I think, when we did the podcast with Danny McGinlay and Francis Leach the other week, saying, I think the JLT, the sponsorships work really well in that it's so recognisable and everyone's talking about the JLT this and the JLT that. And the signage looks good. And then I think Francis said, do you know what they do?
Yeah.
And that's when he got me.
I think they're vaguely in finance. I remember we looked this up. And I only know that because we looked it up ages ago.
The fact that we don't immediately know suggests that it probably wasn't that brilliant a sponsorship deal.
No, JLT could be anything.
Could be.
It's the weirdest one I've ever seen. Paul Spain wrote in, which professional sportsman could do with a Trinity Grammar style haircut?
Oh, that's a good question.
Bryce Gibbs got his hair trimmed this weekend.
And I tell you,
he was raising money. I think.
Long, though, to start with. I mean, he.
But also, he'd taken a lot of care of that hair. You could tell.
I know, but he turned that tennis ball sized man bun into Richie Sambora.
It was like having a soccer ball on the back of his head.
Oh, it was a massive melon.
Whose haircut would you cut?
Who would you? I don't know.
Against their will.
Probably not against their will, not a professional sportsman.
Nathan Carroll had the greatest haircut probably of all time.
Remember that Melbourne fullback?
That mullet.
He had the ripping mullet, but it was one of those mullets that went to a point. It wasn't just a
taking someone's eye out.
Yeah.
Brad Cater wrote in, I've been wearing my Titus and Sergio t-shirt for months now, and not one comment or hint of recognition has come my way. Do you think it's time for me to actually wear it outside my house? Oh, thanks, Bradley. Someone's wearing it. It's really made for wearing indoors.
Yeah. Yeah, the colours don't really suit out.
Usually when you're eating, like you're painting or eating something, you don't care if you get something on it.
Yeah. But careful, if you're eating a burger, egg yolk doesn't work on the front of the t-shirt.
It's a bad
You
look.
just can't get it off.
Spoken from experience. It's a great t-shirt to wash the car with.
Yeah, true.
And we should add who's going to get it this week. I thought we should give it to Stephen Maloney for Can Collingwood play every game in Moe this year? We always win, and as a supporter, I really feel like I fit in with the locals.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Perfect stuff, Stephen.
So, Stephen, can you, when we send you the t-shirt, can you send us a photo of yourself wearing it in Moe?
Right. And we don't care if you have to drive down there.
Under the Moe sign.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a few other ones coming up this week.
Yep.
I'm interviewing Ben Collins about...
Who's Ben Collins?
He is the gentleman that wrote the Red Fox, the Norm Smith book, which is being reissued with the new updated chapter and everything. So he's going to come in and we're going to talk about Norm Smith, the great
legendary Melbourne
premiership coach. So arguably the
Melbourne
greatest coach of all time.
Since they sacked Norm Smith.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking greatest AFL coaches of all time, it's sort of like Jock McHale, him, and you'd argue Clarko on results would be in the talk.
Ron Barassi, but yeah, you'd certainly have Norm Smith in your top 2 or 3.
Yeah, so that should be good. So we're going to have a bit of a chat about Norm Smith, who grew up not far from where we're talking now. So tune in for that one later in the week, and we'll talk to you soon.